We are running week 1 of the NFL preseason. It's all gas, no brakes, bricked up, everything that you want to do. I am going to tame it a little bit coming up a little bit later in the show because I have to ask the question because I feel I'll get my most honest answer now, but that's a little bit later. D-Mac Spenmo was out there. I know we get like the training camp updates and things like that, but D-Mac, I want to let Spenmo take center stage, and I want him to shoot from the hip because he was out there. He was bricked. The crowd was bricked. And Spenmo, like, in no specific order or anything like that, just your big walkaways. When you were driving home from Allen Park, what was going through your mind?
Yeah, some of the biggest things that I took away from yesterday's camp is one, Aiden Hutchinson looks amazing. Like, the guy is going to have a fantastic year. The things that we know, the things that we've heard. Aiden Hutchinson looks amazing.
Real quick, we'll kind of address these as you go. I'm going to jump in on that one. The body, D-Mac. Like, I've saw him on his Instagram reels and stuff like that. He took his body to another level.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you know what? No wonder the phones don't work in the audio booth until 2 o'clock because Sam's so bricked up over there. You're knocking the phones off the hook. Put the phone back on the hook, Sam. Jeez.
I mean,
what
everything.
Do you think about that?
Oh, I'm as stoked and as bricked as you can possibly be. That's been my guy since day one, and I think he's in for a year 2 jump, the likes of which that Myles Garrett in company made. Not quite to that level, but the year 2 jump that a lot of the great defensive edge rushers have had.
But to your point, you know, when you see somebody put in that transformation, I know I mentioned yesterday.
Off success.
And right, exactly, to that next level, you just see that he won't be denied. He's gonna get there. And the fact that he can put that size on, because he was big to begin with. But then when he figures out how to move and to have Spenny right out of the gate, you hear him talk. I mean, it's everything that you want where you've drafted him and to be. And honestly, like, he might be better than even what we think he's going to be.
And Spenmo, was it visible? You know what I'm talking about? Like his physical, because he did undergo a bit of a physical transformation even. Was it visible?
Oh, yeah, it was visible. You can see how much bigger he is, how thicker he is. Like, the guy's ready for business. He's working out with J.J. Watt, different things like that. Like, the guy's ready to make some noise next year.
Okay. I like it. Yeah. I like it. What else you got?
So, I mean, obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown, dude's a freak. Like, he catches everything. He beats everybody. But outside of him, what I saw at camp yesterday, Khalif Raymond is the second best route runner on this team.
And to cut you off again, that's the media report. Like Dave Burkett, guys that, you know, have been through the battles that know, have talked about that. Where Khalif Raymond has taken a step, which I don't think our brickdom can handle all of these things being thrown on us at once.
Wait, you guys sound super surprised in that. Didn't we see that out of him the second half of the season, him sort of elevate when guys sort of went down, that he stepped up to a different level? And, this all goes to when we're talking about Hutchinson getting bigger, we're talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, 200 balls and doing all his drills and just can't be caught. We're talking about Jameson Williams now being the first one on and off out of practice and stuff, doing extra drills, doing all these little things. These are all the stuff that you're talking about, right? About all guys wanting to be better and pushing each other to get better. So if everybody is improving and on their personal level, think about what we're going to see as a team. So it's not smoke and mirrors. It's the real deal. When you're seeing the development of these guys, people sound surprised with Cleaver. I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? He is, for lack of a better term, to me, a poor man's Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? But the fact is that, and what is the most important thing when I say Amon-Ra St. Brown? Dependability, right? Dependability. I think that's what you have with Khalif Raymond too.
And Spenmo too, to back that up as to what you're saying. When I was listening to Dave Burkett talk on the local radio station here in town, he brought up the fact where, and this was a bit concerning, I guess. Here's the first cold shower. When he talked about Khalif Raymond, and I want to bounce this off you. When he talked about Khalif Raymond, he said that, and I don't want to speak for Dave Burkett. The impression I got of what he said was Reynolds was not quite the same as he has been in the past. And the rest of the receiver room, I don't want to say was a little less than, but you get what I'm trying to say here,
Yeah,
right?
I wouldn't agree with that. I think,
Okay.
yeah, Marvin Jones and Josh Reynolds both did what I expected them to do. They went out there, they were making contested catches, they were beating guys. It's just Khalif Raymond looked different. Like the way he was moving in and out of cuts, he was putting guys, he was losing guys off the line of scrimmage on his cuts at the top of his routes. And that last wide receiver position is going to come down to a battle. Like Maurice Alexander and Dylan Drummond have both had fantastic camps. They're both making great contested catches. They're beating guys down the field. It's heating up for that last spot as well.
No, and that's been the talk too. Like Dylan Drummond has been the consensus. Where did this guy come from? The Eastern Michigan guy who has been shooting up a lot of people's depth charts, I guess you could say, and he is going to ask some questions. Antoine Green's got a battle on his hands, D-Mac. And this is, I promise you guys, this is as geeky as I'll get because I'm not, fifth receiver on the depth chart. Let's talk about it for 40 minutes. No, I'm not that. But it goes to show you, D-Mac, what happens in these camps where guys that aren't drafted, guys that got the chip on their shoulder, guys that are ready to come to work, you got to deal with them, man.
No, everybody's, out there fighting for a spot, and either it's fighting for a spot here or you got to remember what we talked about yesterday, signing Teddy Bridgewater. Brad Holmes has left enough in the chamber to be able to have money because what if you want to poach off somebody else's practice squad? This is going on around all the other training camps where there's guys that are fighting for these spots. I think that I'm going to go back to the Anzalone interview and talk about where he said, where Dan Campbell made imperative that these games, these inter practices, like for making the team. So that's why they're so competitive. This isn't just like go through the motions, get ready for the season. This is about trying to make the team. And when you got everybody fighting from the bottom, right, because the guys at the top are leading, that it makes you all better. Now, unfortunately, one of these guys that you're talking about, whether it's Drummond or Alexander, who doesn't make it, the reality is that they're having such a good camp, they're going to go somewhere else instead of being on the practice squad. But that's what happens. That's what you like, because that means that you're improving your talent across the board. Mm-hmm. So competition's great. Competition's always great.
What else you got, Spenny?
Well, I mean, if you want to stay offense for this part of the segment, it's
sure.
Jahmyr Gibbs looked electric. Like he was running with the ones. He was breaking off big plays in the run game and in the passing game. He looks at home. He's beating guys off the line of scrimmage. He's making a lot of plays. And David Montgomery also looks really good. He made a nice one-handed catch in the 11-on-11 drills. He was beating people, running into people, running through people. It was impressive to watch. The Lions running backs had a good day.
How about Denzel Mims?
He did not practice yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what about Laporta?
Laporta looks good. He looks comfortable. He looks great when he gets the ball in his hands. And he's a very crisp route runner.
And I just said that because I made my claim yesterday. I'm getting a Laporta jersey.
Yeah, he was also running with the ones.
Let's go Red Wings Sparty in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Stop it. I can't take this anymore. People yesterday were talking about how they were going to relieve the pressure in the chat thread. It was a lot of stuff. We were in a public forum. I couldn't read a lot of those.
That's fair.
There were very detailed accounts of the things that they were things that we're going to do. Corey Berry says, it sounds like Gibbs was the star yesterday. And I kind of shared our post on Instagram about Gibbs, kind of in the open field, making the run and stuff like that. I had a buddy of mine that responded to me in my DM, and he's like, "Bro, this is porn right here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I back that up.
Seriously, it is.
Yeah, but back that up though, Spenny. You can't. How he looked in that, and I'm not trying to oversell this. You guys know I'm one of the more level-headed people out there. But when I saw that clip, I was like, God damn.
Yeah, and that wasn't even his best clip of the day.
And not just come out of the backfield and get separation and stuff like that, but so easy. Somebody in the chat said it. If your feet aren't moving when Gibbs is near you, you're done. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because he is so quick. My question to you, Spenny, just top your who is the most impressive offensively and the most impressive defensively. If you had to give, star of the day, Spenny's star of the day.
Star of the day, most impressive offensively, I'd probably say Khalif Raymond. The way he was making people miss in 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, 1-on-1 drills. He looked great in all of them. And defensive star of the day, probably Kirby Joseph or John Kaminsky.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Absolutely. And don't you love to hear that? You said John Kaminsky, and that's after coming out and saying he talking the talk about, our 2s are as good as our 1s defensive line, and you go out and you tell me that, then he's going out and doing it. Two-hand Kaminsky this year, boys. I'm telling you. He's got the club off. I'm just saying.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread 2 Swifty says there will be plenty of bricked up pressure released when we beat the Chiefs. Mason Leach, Spenny about to make me bust with all of these great things. You guys, I'll give you one, okay? I'll give you one here because we're back in the friendly confines of the Woodward Sports Studio here in Birmingham. Alex Merrill, my meat rocket is about to blast off.
Jesus.
Absolutely.
That was the one. We're not out in public, so I'll give you guys one. Now that's it. And I fully know what this means and what you guys are going to do. We're going to get 150 messages in the next 30 seconds trying to not so descriptively describe how your meat rocket is going to be relieved. And we're not doing it. So you can just save the keystrokes if you want. But D-Mac, I don't care. We did our one.
I just love the meat emoji on the rocket.
Meat missile.
Meat missile. Oops.